Welcome to another episode of Success Stories brought to you by Hack/NIT Patna. And this is Pragati Verma. And I feel really great to get an opportunity to interview you, Ayush Nath Jha, sir. And first of all, I welcome you to the series, sir. And just to give a short introduction about him, he is currently in fourth year of NIT Patna, and he has currently bagged a placement offer from Oracle. And a very warm congratulations to you, sir, from our side. And moving on with the session, I would first of all ask to you about the placement. Like everybody is curious to know about the rounds, about what are the rounds these companies conduct. So it would be very great if you would just share all the rounds which occur in the placement series of these companies. So what were the rounds you went through?
So first of all, thank you for the wishes. And since I'm placed in Oracle, I would like to talk about Oracle, what were the rounds specifically. So the first round was an online assessment round, which basically consisted of aptitude questions. Not only aptitude questions, it also consisted of some questions related to CS4, then programming aptitude and English. So this was the part for the online assessment. The people who were shortlisted from online assessment had to face 3 rounds of interview. The first 2 were technical interviews, and the last one was technical plus HR interview. And after, those who successfully completed these 3 rounds were extended an offer. So yeah, these were the rounds.
So you must have completed the coding rounds very well, no doubt in that. But when the interview round come, it naturally flows in that people get nervous. So what was your strategy to get through the interview rounds?
So my strategy was quite simple. Actually, the main motive that I had in mind as soon as I got into the interview. So the first thing was that I had to maintain eye contact with the interviewer at all the times. Like when I'm not typing anything, when I'm not explaining something, I used to maintain eye contact. Had to keep a smile on face, and whatever the interviewer is saying, you need to listen it carefully. For example, if the interviewer is giving you some question, you need to listen really carefully so that you can make sense out of the question and you can just grab the important points that would help you in framing your solution. And after he tells you the question, the second thing, the most important thing actually is to clarify the question. Like you cannot make certain assumptions. You have to first clarify that. If you can safely make some assumptions related to maybe the constraints or maybe some other data related assumptions. So first clear out those doubts, and then after that my basic approach to go forward with the solution is to first tell the pretty straightforward brute force approach, and then if I have some suboptimal approach, I try to explain it as well. Through the help of pseudocode, I don't directly jump into the coding part. I first try to explain things using pseudocode, and then when the interviewer is like convinced with the time complexity, space complexity of the solution, and if he allows me to go ahead and code, then I start with the coding part. And in the coding part, the main things which I focus on is that to name the functions and the variables which I've been using in a way that it makes sense. Like the variable and the function speaks out what its purpose is, and also try to write the comment before each line, like to explain what this particular line is doing or what this particular loop is doing, so that these interviewers sometimes evaluate the code after the interview finishes. So if someone else sees your code and if he sees well commented code, then he can easily make out the sense of like what this guy was trying to do, and that would be that would give a positive impression. And in work culture also, well commented code is very appreciated, because when you work on a large code base and you need to document certain things, and if you have not commented on proper basis, if someone else works on the same piece of code later, then they would just curse you for not mentioning any sort of comments, and they would be just puzzled like what is this piece of code doing. So yeah, that was my pretty straightforward approach. And throughout the interview, you just need to keep out your process. So never ever try to stop communicating with the interviewer. Always speak out what you are thinking, speak your mind. So that way interviewer is always connected with you, and in case you are stuck, they may even help you as well. So yeah, that is all about my approach.
That was really some great amount of information regarding the interview. Since you have mentioned so much about programming, so I would like to ask, like, what was the main skills they required? Was it just programming or something else too?
For SDE roles, they freshers specifically, they certainly look for great DSA skills. You need to be thorough with data structures and algorithms. And apart from that, they also look at the CS core, your core subject knowledge, computer networks and operating systems, database management systems, SQL. So yeah, you need to be thorough with those as well. Since I'm not from computer science background, I'm from electronics background. These were not my core subjects, so I had to put in some extra effort. But it wasn't the case. Like I went into a very great depth into these things. I just tried to cover a decent amount among these, so that I can just explain it to the interviewer if he asks something. So yeah, that was.
Okay, so the conclusion comes as like programming is really important with all those database knowledge. Yeah. So
Yeah.
moving forward, when I look into your profile, I get you have also done two internships. So just give us an insight about the internships and what were the roles which were really helpful of the internships in your placements.
So I did two internships. One was at the end of second year, and that internship was basically a game development internship at a startup at IIT Madras. It's an IIT Madras incubated startup, Ghost Vision. So in that, my main role was basically to develop interactive educational modules with the help of augmented reality based paradigm. And uh, yeah, I had to prototype there most of the solutions, and I developed most of the contents related to physics and mathematical concepts of uh, 9th and 10th class. And the second internship which I am currently doing is a research internship, which is in the Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, which is a part of the Ministry of Electronics and IT under Government of India. So it's basically a nodal agency for cyber defense in the country. And in that, I'm working on a confidential problem statement, and it's related to deep learning. Like we are using deep learning to work on that problem statement. And yeah, talking about how they helped me, they have greatly helped me. Like in this internships teach you discipline. So what happens is that when you work for a company or when you are attached to an organization, you have got certain plans, certain goals, and that goal is for the common good of the company. It's not just for you. And when there's common goal is coupled with lot of different entities, then you have to be disciplined and you have to work within a certain strict time frame. And so these are some of the habits that it helps you develop immensely. Second one is of course this teamwork. So teamwork also, it also inculcates the you know how you can work in team and how you can be effective. If you are given a leadership role, then it also helps you in gaining insight on like how a leader works and how you can manage multiple things at once. So, and apart from that, the knowledge gained from the work that you do there. For example, here in my current internship, I've been doing a lot of work on deep learning, machine learning models. So that has obviously helped me in brushing up my skills which are related to this machine learning part. And yeah, so that was it. Definitely helps anyone if you can grab an internship.
Yes. Okay. That was all about placements and internships. That was really insightful for all of us. I would like to come to your role in Hackslash. Uh, uh, we know that you are really associated with the game field and the game development part a lot, and you have been also led the team Easter Eggs of Hackslash, the game development team, for 2 entire years. So would you like to share some experience of the club and how was that really helpful for your skills?
Yeah, so so talking about the experience with Hackslash, it has truly helped in all sorts, like up till now. It has helped a lot, be it placements or be it in real life scenarios. It has helped a lot. And when this, so talking about my experience with Hackslash, when this club was uh, being established, so I was contacted by Garima, one of the founding members, and she told me that they are establishing a club related to development, and they want to include game development department within that club. And she asked me that if I can join the team as a member, as a head of the game development team, and mentor the students and see around the activities. So I was quite excited because in NIT Patna there wasn't such development culture before, and when your colleagues and when your classmates, your batchmates are doing such great work, then it really feels good. And after it was established and we had our first cohort of students, which we took in as the members of Hackstack. So we had students from for different teams like app, web, some were in game development as well. So when we started, uh, I loved the questions they asked. Like I just saw that many of the students are very much interested in this field, but they are a bit lost, like seeing the vast magnitude of the field. Like game development consists of many things, and they feel like if I start, I don't know where I have to start, because it's a it's sort of a black hole. If you start, there's no start to it. So yeah, so it was a loving experience to guide them, and uh, I hopefully successfully guided them in a proper way, mentored them. We had a few evening sessions when everything was normal. Obviously, we had few evening sessions where after the class we went and had about 1 or 2 hours of sessions on. We built basic games, and I told them about Unity and other game engines. Like uh, we had these sort of sessions, and since you know that learning is a two-way process, so the doubts they asked also were very unique, and sometimes they also taught me many things. So I'm really very much grateful to this opportunity that knocked at my door, and it has helped me a lot. That is all I would like to say in this matter.
And I think, as far as I have heard about you, like it's not my personal experience. I have never gained a personal interaction with you in the team since I have never been in the team. But many of my peer members uh, in my batch, they just talk about like they are in team Mr. X, and they tell me that yes, we have been guided by Ayush sir, and he's really frank, and he's still kind of person. He just clears all our doubts, and like it feels good. And when I got the opportunity to interview you, I was a bit nervous before this, but I had some reviews about you, so I was like, okay, he's still kind of person, no need to be nervous and all. So I was really helpful for the session as well. So
I am glad to know that. Yeah.
yes, for sure, you can ask any member of the
Okay.
team. Like I got this. Okay, I would like to move forward further now,
Yeah.
and yeah, about the placements, where when it was the final days, like everybody is really curious to know about this, like maintaining a balance between the college studies and the placement preparations. It's really a tedious task to be done. And then how did you manage in those final days?
In final days, look, what my basic strategy is, like you must have seen in this post-COVID scenario when everything is online, most of the students tend to miss classes. They say that they work on other things, and that's a general tendency, right? Because no one wants to stare at the screen and sit for a long time. When you go to classes, it was something different. It was like, yeah, manageable, but when it's online, it's quite boring. So, but my strategy is that I never miss classes. I attend all the classes, and the time which I give in classes, I try to understand whatever the professor is, whatever teachers try to teach you. I make my own notes, and I guess that is what has helped me in if you pay attention in that particular span of time in during your classes, then I don't think you need much greasing during the time of exams, or after the study hours, to again grind all those subjects. If you pay enough attention in that time span, then you can use your other time, the spare time after your study hours, you can use it in upskilling yourself. So that is what I have been doing. I attend all the classes. I make my own notes so that I can just quickly refer to it. Because when I write my own notes, I understand them way better than if I use anyone else's note. I borrow anyone else's note. So yeah, so that is my way that I don't, and I also recommend people that not to leave classes if they want to uh, manage both things. So yeah, you can anyone can follow this. Well, that is just a personal preference. If someone can use things that they can be more productive when they leave classes and they do whatever stuff they want, then that's their personal choice, and people are correct in their personal choices. So works with many people. So yeah, whatever. So that is the way I do.
That is indeed a much needed advice for all of us. Like whoever I see in this online scenario, like we always tend to skip the online classes, but uh, as it is instructed by you now, like it is really important, I guess, and that would guide the viewers out there as well. Moving ahead, I would like to ask about if you have any achievements that you would like to share with us and that has favored you through the placement process.
Yes, so talking about my achievements, I don't I don't have much in mind, but one of the achievements that I gained by being connected to this club was that since being a mentor in the game development team, I had the privilege to mentor about 30 to 40 students for game development, and I feel privileged that I was someone who could guide many students who were trying to find a way, like how to get started in this field, and help them in actually getting some results, like actually getting started in this and developing something that they can say that they can truly cherish. So uh, gaining I helped them in gaining some skills, and they also helped me in gaining a lot of skills, like they helped me in improving my soft skills. They also increased my knowledge actually by asking a lot of doubts, and some of the doubts were really unique. I had to think the other way around. They also told me about their solutions related to some different problems, and that was really an eye opener. So yeah, since learning is a two-way street, so yeah, it was definitely an achievement to mentor students. And apart from that, being a game developer, uh, I have also successfully published games, multiple games on Android Play Store. So three of my games are my solo made, and the last one was published with along with the members of the team Easter eggs. So the members who are currently in third year right now, so I and them had long plans of making a game and publishing it on Play Store. That was the main motive with which we started the first cohort of students. But after this lockdown, most of us were not in touch, and since life took different tracks, so we couldn't get back to it very soon. This plan was reinitiated right after the first meetup of Hackslash, which was held during this COVID scenario. And then we again reassembled our team. We guys got back to work, and then we brainstormed multiple ideas. And then within a span of about 7 weeks, we finally came out with a product. We finally came out with a game, basically a tower climber game, Beyond Night Tower Rest. It's a 2.5D game, and we successfully published it on Play Store. So as a club, our motive was also achieved. Like we had to develop a project, so that a club is known by its projects. Like what kind of projects are you building, and what kind of things you can showcase, which shows what kind of knowledge you have. So after publishing that game, I feel that the goal of this particular department of our club was also quite achieved, because we could display, like everyone could display, showcase what they have learned until now. So this was one of the achievements I would like to talk about.
Sure. Personally, even I think just as you were the you were the very first leader of your game development team in Hackslash, and you just guided so many of students in the team, and also helped them have a practical experience on developing the games. Like this really is a sort of great achievement. And we will be really thankful to you to give us such a great team in Hackslash to guide all the people who are interested in this field. So thank you for that. And so moving on forward, for the last question, I would just like to ask you if you have any personal memory of Hackslash which you really cherish and till the date, and please share with us.
So regarding the personal memory of Hackslash, so the evening sessions that we took during, when everything was all right, during the pre-COVID scenario, we took the evening sessions and running right after the, classes, the hectic labs, and doing those, preparing lesson plans like what we have to deliver in the evening schedule, and how can I explain concept in a better way to the viewers, like, because most of them didn't even have a background in programming. So when you don't even have a background in programming, it becomes a bit tough to explain concepts. Uh, so, and because in game development, programming is really necessary. So we had to come up with ways like how can we, make deliver the contents in a better manner. And we had to brainstorm many different techniques, like how can we, enable the students in grasping those important concepts. And yeah, and those evening sessions, we had small talks, we had few we had pep talks, we had some sort of, what you can say, fun, we can say. Yeah, we had some fun, and we used to joke around, like, we had become more like a family, the members which were at that time. And they, like, everyone was like brother to me. So yeah, it was a really great bond, and I still cherish that. And I guess that is the thing that has left an everlasting impact, and I don't think I'll ever forget it. That is one of the most cherishable moments, like, I would say, that I garnered through Hackslash. Yeah.
Those sessions like sound really interesting. We still are just going on with the online sessions, and we really wish to someday see the campus and just have those bonds in practical. Even we also want to have those moments in the club itself. So okay, we hope we'll have that day someday soon. For the last question, I would like to ask if you have any tips for your viewers over there, just to about the placements, if you would like to share any.
uh, yeah, so see, tips, yeah, I'm not myself a sort of godfather that I have, my tips might work for some, might not work for some. I'm just telling this from my personal experience. So uh, the first and foremost thing for everyone right now in this current situation is to be safe and be healthy. That is the first and foremost thing. Like in the Hindi proverb, as it says, "Jaan hai to jahan hai." So
Yeah.
that is what is the most important thing right now. And apart from that, see, since things have gone remote and people have got a lot of time, they are at home, they are getting good food, and they have the proper facilities like internet and all. So people are spending their time in upskilling themselves. Everyone is trying to learn new skills, learn new tech stack, and they are just trying to level up themselves. And the competition is increasing, it's soaring high. And as compared to what it had been about 3 to 4 years, the pace at which the skill people are skilling themselves is huge, tremendous. So I would just say that to match with the pace of the world, you need to upskill, you need to continuously learn, continuously evolve. Not just for placements, it is a general fact for everyone. You need to continuously keep learning. And for particularly for people who are in college right now, I would say that you can perform. There is a strategy known as exploration and exploitation. If you know, these are two English terms. So when you are in early stages of college, like you are in the first half of your college, you can be in an exploration stage. What I mean by exploration stage is that you have a lot of, there are a lot of domains where you on which you can try your hands. There is app, web, there is game, there is cloud, then there is machine learning. In case you are not interested in computer science, you can go for electronics, robotics, and stuffs like that. So you can try your hands on different things. Since you have got time, you are in your early stage, so you need to explore as much as you can. And then when you find something that resonates with you, that that grabs your nerves and says like, yeah, take me with you. There's something like this. There's some skill. Then you can move to the exploitation phase. So this phase is probably for the students who are in the second half of their college life, the third and fourth year students, and then they dive deep into that particular skill and they upskill themselves. They gain deeper knowledge in with respect to that particular skill, and then when they improve themselves, so definitely they can build projects. They can have good knowledge of that particular skill, and that will really help them in interviews or anything else. Like if you are going for an open source contribution or such like that, then that is really going to help. So this exploration versus exploitation principle, I guess, should work for most of the people, and people should try this out, since the college life is the one where you can try most of the things and you can settle with one. You can also do it after college, but college gives you a platform for that, so you can exploit that platform and you can do all these stuff. And yeah, that is all I have to say. And for placement season, I would just like to say that there is a lot of chaos around. Like people are getting placed. It when people get placed around you, your friends and all. So there is a feeling of panic among some people. Like people get restless that why are they not getting placed, and why think they get rejected or something. So they feel bad and dejected. Like they lose, some of them even lose the motivation to work hard. And so for them, I would just like to say that you just need to you know uh, if something happens, it happens for some good reason. And if you just need to focus on yourself, your upliftment. You need to work to get yourself on the right track. You need to push yourself, and when your moment comes, things will ultimately fall in line for you, and you will definitely uh, get the opportunity that that you deserve. So yeah, that is all I would like to say regarding that.
Those were really some inspiring words for all of us, sir. Thank you so much. And the conclusion comes like exploration and exploitation. That was really a concept I liked a lot. And thank you so much, sir, for all your valuable words. We as a juniors will always try to abide by all of the tips and strategies you have shared with us. And I would like to conclude this meeting now. And for all the viewers out there, I would also request you to not leave us over here, because we'll be back with another episode, many more episodes of the same series with many more seniors who have been placed in MNCs. And you will also get to learn with their experiences as well. So stay tuned with us. And thank you very much.
This is Avinash Kumar on behalf of Hackslash Club, and today I have with me Prince sir.
I started with Android development because apps usually like I'm more interested in app development, so I started with it.
What roadmap would you like to give to a second or a third year student who is aspiring to crack internships?
So I would suggest that you do coding as much. Like you should have a decent level in coding. Like you can solve like code courses level T questions at least. So